So, hi, I'm Debbie and this is Ross from Feel Now Yoga, and wanted to have a conversation today about what the shoulders should be doing in downward facing dog, because this has been coming up a lot in class lately, and somebody on social media asked me to do a video about it, which is going to be tricky because this depends a lot on what you're doing downward facing dog for. Is it like the final destination that you want to get to, or is it part of your journey? So are you moving through downward facing dog, or are you staying there? And what type of downward facing dog you want to do? There's more than one. You don't have to get your heels to the floor, you don't have to have your legs straight. And which one you choose depends on whether it's going to be the destination of a journey, perhaps. So I borrowed Ross so that we could see his shoulder blades, but obviously we can't really see shoulder blades very well. And I left a skeleton at the village hall. So we're going to use the nearest thing to a shoulder blade that I could find lying around, which are rocks, but they're very different. So first I was kind of like a little worried, you know, that these don't look like standard shoulder blades, but then I realised that, well, there isn't a standard shoulder blade. Some people have really big shoulder blades, and Ross is one of these. He's got really big shoulder blades, so his shoulder blades are all around here. But I had a woman on the last teacher training course who had teeny tiny little shoulder blades, and her shoulder blades weren't close to the spine here. They were situated well away from the spine here. So this type of narrow shoulder blade that's more distally located is going to be requiring a lot more muscular support than Ross's type of shoulder blade, which is more close to the midline. So we're going to have a look first of all at the choices that the shoulder blades have, because it's impossible to talk about what the shoulder blades should be doing if the shoulder blades have only got one or two choices available to them. So we're just going to have a look at articulations of the shoulder blades. So the first one, if we're going to ask Ross to do, is elevate the shoulder blades, which means, to move his shoulder blades upwards, and then depress the shoulder blades, which is to move them down. Now, none of these actually happen in isolation. You can see some other movements creeping in, I'm sure, but let's just clarify those. Elevation and depression. And then if he lets his shoulders rest somewhere that feels neutral, we're going to try for moving the shoulder blades in towards his spine, and then moving those shoulder blades away from his spine. So if you take things away, you abduct them, and if you add things together, you adduct them. So this is abduction of the shoulder blades and adduction of the shoulder blades, or of the scapula. Now, if he allows them to kind of rest, and the next articulation that we're going to look at is a little bit of a combination of the two, really, in some ways. So we're going to have to bring the arms into this as well in order to do it justice, really, because otherwise the arms will get in the way. So we're going to ask Ross to raise his arms, and then when Ross raises his arms, if I can map that accurately with these rocks, there's a rotation of the shoulder blades, and that occurs again when he brings the arms back down. So when he takes his arms up, this is an upward rotation of the shoulder blades. And when he brings his arms back down, a downward rotation of the shoulder blades. So one more time, an upward rotation of the shoulder blades and a downward rotation of the shoulder blade. And I hope that's given you something to play with. We're going to take this in stages because it's a big question. I know it seems like subjects that could be easily answered, but there's a lot of background that's required first. So we're going to take this in a few stages. and so it might be an idea to practice those different choices for the shoulder blades, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks.